Let's do a quick rock talk. You're out here. You have a problem with the way things are. Politician A or politician B or C or D. Never mind. They're bothering you. Your guy's better than that guy. The only reason there's any of these guys making things worse for everyone, the only reason why the system works at all in the first place, and why there are men in suits trying to run everything in your life and make laws that you love and laws that you hate, are because you have this natural tendency, this predisposition to not run your own life. You somehow equate the concept of being free with having people making decisions for you. You got it wrong, kiddo. So you're out here thinking that something that you can vote for is going to set you free. The whole act of voting is an act of being the opposite of free, of having somebody in charge of you other than you. If you are the only person in charge of you and the decisions you made and the consequences received from those decisions, and succeeding or failing, and enjoying your success or bailing yourself out from your failures, you wouldn't vote for anybody. You would just live your life and go on with your days, and you'd just figure it out. If the economy collapses, you'd just be resourceful, I guess, or you'd be dead. Whatever it takes. These people at the top of the hill are only there to take away from you the terrible sense of responsibility that you have to carry when you're being personally responsible. That's it. They're not doing anything to benefit you. The sense of relief that they help you feel by taking charge over all the things that you yourself should be in charge of is a false sense of freedom. It is a false sense of relief. It's a delusion. You are mentally ill. There's not a pill you can take that's going to change any of that or improve any of that. And if you get yourself stoned out of your gourd on Valium or whatever the hell it is you want to take, you're still going to wake up tomorrow restricted, lorded over, ruled over, and fundamentally less free in every way that matters than you could have been if you just got up and took responsibility for your own life, toiled on a daily basis like everyone has since the beginning of humanity on this earth, toiled to find shelter, toiled to eat, toiled to create for yourself a sense of comfort and contentment and meaning. Meaning being the most important of all. I mean, animals all over this world, you know, they survive, they find shelter, they get their food and water, and they reproduce, and then they die. And there's nothing significant about their life, and their life doesn't matter because there's no meaning. How are you going to ascribe anyone's life to mattering if there's no meaning in how they spend their time, how they pursue their time on this earth, and how they appoint their days? For a life to matter, that life has to be centered around the concept of meaning. There's no meaning in getting high, collecting a government check, and then having some man on the hill shout down to you your edicts for the day, what you may or may not do, how best that you should convey yourself. You need to find these things out for yourself. If you're relying on somebody like me or anyone else to tell you what's best for you, you done screwed up. Stop it. Grow up. Man up and stop being a man-child and throwing a tantrum. You're disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself. And if you don't feel shame, then something inside of you needs to change, because the only thing you should be entitled to, all of you, especially those of you younger than me, or even at my age, or even older than me, the boomers, the zoomers, the millennials, all of you. If you're not running your life and you don't feel shame, I pity you, because you are less than me, living in my car, driving around full time and having not a pot to piss in. You are less than me, and that is pathetic. And if that doesn't make you feel shame, maybe you need to stimulate your shame glands in your brain or whatever, because I would be ashamed if I were you. I mean, there's days where I'm ashamed of myself and the situation I'm in, and that's good and that's healthy, because here's what shame does. It informs you that you're a screw-up and that you need to do something. It's healthy. It's good for you. You need to feel shame. If you're fat, you need to be ashamed of it. I mean, not like, like pudgy, but I mean, if you're like obese and it's causing health problems, the shame you're feeling is just your body telling you to get in gear and do something about it. And there's a lot you can do. It's not going to be easy, but anything that you can do to make your life better and quality is what you need to do. And you should be feeling shame every moment that you're not moving towards those goals. It's not going to happen overnight. Anything worth having is not just handed to you. And if it's handed to you, it's not worth anything. You know, like, every time you just get $1,000, how does that $1,000 mean anything if it's just given to you? You don't have to do anything for it. It's just here, arbitrary $1,000. Here you go. By nature, there is no meaning. Meaning stems from having to work at something. You know, like acquiring it, refining it, honing it, perfecting it, cultivating it. That's where the meaning comes into the equation. And that's why the economy is in the gutter right now, is because they just printed a whole bunch more money, trillions of dollars, and they just arbitrarily handed it out. Well, now it doesn't mean anything because nobody did anything for it. You get that welfare check. It doesn't mean anything because you didn't do anything for it. Oh, you got knocked up? That's not a skill. You can literally do that in your sleep. I hate to tell you. It's harder to order a pizza than it is to have a child. Now, actually successfully parenting them child and seeing to it that they grow up with values and a sense of propriety and not winding up recidivist bums going around shooting and stealing, that would be an accomplishment. That's not what most of these people do, is it? These career baby havers. Oh, and they come in every color and flavor. Let me tell you, it's more of a cultural phenomenon than any kind of racial one. And it needs to stop. All of you need to stop. It is time to stop. Stop voting for people to fix your problems for you. Stop voting away your responsibility and the things that you do to make your own life miserable and to make everybody else around you miserable, and start owning it up. And if the consequences for what you've done end up being the death of you, so what?